Hello and welcome to Cara's Knitting Corner. My name is Cara. I am a knitter, a very new knitwear designer and a university student from the north of Germany, and I am very happy to have you here watching this first episode of my podcast. I hope that this will become a regular bi-weekly knitting podcast and that I can keep you all entertained every 2 weeks and tell you about what I'm knitting, what I'm designing, and sometimes also what happens in my life and maybe some knitting purchases that I have. We will see about that. You can find me on Instagram as Cara's Knitting Corner and on Ravelry as Cara Ellen, and I have my patterns available on both Ravelry and Etsy, and I will link you to that as well. Right now I have 2 knitting patterns released, and they are the little mug socks, which are these. They are like really lovely colorwork socks with little mugs on them. That's why they are called that. And these are my version. I have worked them in Wollmeise Twin, which is a German hand-dyed yarn that I really love working with, especially for socks. So you will see that a lot on my channel. And I used one color for the main color. This is the colorway Süß, which is German for sweet. And I've used 5 different colors for the mugs, and they are Ruby Thursday, this one is Törtchen, this one is NICHTS, and then there's 2 different Versuchskaninchen is what they're called. And they're kind of one of a kind or one-off colorways that they do. And I thought these colors would look really lovely together, so that's why I chose these for my pattern. And this is on Ravelry as a little mug socks, and they're a really fun knit because you kind of have this potato chip kind of effect where you just want to finish one mug and then another. Oh well, I should start up here. And suddenly you're here and you're doing the heel, which is a German short row heel. And then you just have to do, like, for me it's 5 more sets because I have large feet, but I've had testers that just had to do like 3 or 4 sets of the mugs, and then they were already at the toe. So that's why it's very quick and very fun knit. And also there's 5 different versions of the pattern. You see my version here has hearts on all of the mugs, but there's a version that only has hearts on like offset different mugs. There's one completely without hearts. There's one that has hearts but also stripes on the mugs. Yeah, so there's also a completely striped mugs version. So you can really choose what you want to do. You can do it in a bunch of different colors, or you can just choose 2 colors to work these up in. And I think it's a very fun pattern, and I would be very happy if anyone wanted to check it out. And my second pattern is really exciting because I just released it today. These are the Turtle Time socks. They're called Turtle Time socks because they have little turtles swimming like downstream here, but there's also a version where you can knit them like going up the leg instead, for if anyone prefers that. My version is knit with the turtles going down the like upper part of the leg. And these socks only have color work up here, and then the rest of the sock is plain stockinette. So that makes them a very quick knit because this is like where you're keeping your interest, and then you just need to do like a little bit of stockinette and you're at the heel, and then just the foot and the toe, and then you're finished with the first sock. And I have knit my version again in Wollmeise Twin. This colorway is Flaschenpost, which I loved so much knitting these socks that I ordered a whole sweater's quantity in this yarn. So maybe you will see this colorway and this yarn again on my channel for a sweater. And this turtle colorway is called bläst, and it's a really nice like light contrast colored yarn, and I thought it's kind of realistic in the colors for how turtles would look. Yeah. I'm still working on focusing like my camera because I'm really new at this, and yeah, I will see how I figure it out. Those are the 2 designs that I have out right now, but I'm working on more, and it's really exciting starting with this knitwear designing, so maybe you will see some more on my channel. Yeah. I am wearing some hand knit stuff too. I'm wearing hand knit socks, but you can't really see those at the moment, and I don't want to show you my feet. I would have to do some weird yoga for that. but I'm wearing my pink velvet sweater, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. It's really popular, you've probably seen it before. And it's really, really pretty. I really love the color work up here. It's worked, I don't know if you can see that this is mohair. This is kind of a commercial German mohair, so I'm not sure actually which one it is and which colorway. But the red, like the main color of the sweater, is Plucky Knitter Snug Fingering in the colorway full-bodied red. And I only used 2 skeins of this yarn, so 200 grams of fingering weight, which was really nice because I only had 2 skeins. But I do have kind of shorter sleeves, which is really nice for this kind of spring weather that isn't quite warm enough yet to go without a sweater. And this is also kind of cropped, so if you see, it's just hitting where my jeans kind of finish. So yeah, but I'm really happy with this sweater. I really enjoy wearing it, and I think at some point I will have to knit another version of this or maybe something similar. I also have some more finished objects. My 2 designs kind of count for that, but I definitely have some very new finished objects. And the first of that is, or the only one that you haven't seen actually, because the other 2 were my designs, but the finished object that I just finished yesterday is another design, or, well, it's not released yet, but my version of another design. Let's see if you can focus. Yeah. These are, they have the working title of the Ruched Socks right now, like the ruches that you can have on fabric. But I'm not quite happy with the title yet, so I might change it. And if anyone has a good idea for a title, I would be very happy to hear it. Yeah, but you can see this has this really nice, well, maybe you can see if it focuses, yeah. This really nice texture here. And this is different from like other ruched fabric in that it only pulls together vertically. So it keeps all of the stretchiness of like the stockinette below. It's not particularly tight there. So that's really nice because I didn't change my stitch count for these socks and they fit great even up here. I will include a version in the pattern where you will have a couple more stitches for the texture than for the foot, just because for people who have very wide calves or maybe want to knit the socks very long to where the calf gets wider, it might be necessary to have a couple more stitches, but most of the time you can just use the same stitch count that you usually use and these will fit great, which I really like, and it's a really enjoyable knit because most of it is stockinette. There's only a couple texture rounds every now and again. And I will be looking for test knitters for that very soon, and I'm really excited to release it hopefully before the month ends. Yeah. And that leads me into my works in progress because I have another version of this as my work in progress. Well, the first of them. You can see this is the same ruched pattern. Here I've decided to start it right after the ribbing to kind of have a different effect from the other pair of socks that I have already finished. And this is Wollmeise Twin as well. The other version was also Wollmeise Twin. This is in the colorway of Seamus, and the green version I just showed you is the colorway bläst again. So you can see that I like to use leftovers, and in this case I had almost a full skein left over from the Turtle Time socks and I used those. And this is a really nice like variegated purple, and you can see that like a soft variegated yarn works really well for this kind of texture. So yeah, I've only started these yesterday evening, so I've not gotten very far, which yeah, that's one of my works in progress. I really hope it's not too dark now. I had to close one of my blinds because the sun was doing weird things on my face. So I will figure this out as we go on with the podcast, I think. And I am not only a sock knitter. Right now I'm really focusing on socks for some reason, but I enjoy it, so that's what I have to show a lot of the time. But I also am working on some sweaters, so I will show you those. This is almost finished. You can see it has sleeves. It has, well, 2 sleeves actually, and the whole body is finished. This is my Robinson wrap cardigan, which is by Florence Miller, and I will link it below in the info box like everything else. And I'm using Wollmeise again, but this time it's a blend base, which is merino and cashmere yarn, but also like a heavy fingering weight. And the reason it's not finished yet is not because I'm lazy, it's because I ran out of yarn. I played Yarn Chicken and I thought I could do it, but I was knitting on this button band, which is worked on after the rest of the sweater is worked. And I don't have enough to finish this button band. So I am trying to get a hold of some more yarn in this color, but it seems to be sold out kind of everywhere. And I've asked on Ravelry if anyone has it, but so far no one has gotten back to me. So I don't know what to do about it. Maybe I will use another color, but because this is like a wraparound cardigan, this is the lower side, so the other side will kind of be wrapped over it. I'll try to put it on actually. This will be an interesting look. I don't know if the sleeves fit over my other sweater. Not quite how I will wear this later on, but you can probably kind of see like you will, or I will wrap this over, and then there will be for me a button that like fixes it here. And I think this will block out a bit more. Yeah, but then it will be like a nice wrap cardigan, but you can see it will kind of hang out here maybe. So I don't want to have a weird color like sticking out of it. So I'm not quite sure what to do about it. Maybe someone will give me some yarn, but right now I've been asking for like a month and no one has gotten back to me, so that's kind of sad. But yeah, that's one of my sweaters that I have worked up almost to the end. And I really love this color. I'm a purple girl, so I love this and darker purple, and just it really makes me happy, and I love those kind of cropped sweaters, so you'll see that a lot with me. And I have another work in progress that you haven't seen. Oh, I actually have two more. I don't know. I didn't write down one of them, so but I definitely have two more sweater works in progress. This one I've just picked back up recently. This is a Sparky Sweater. It looks tiny, but it's my size, supposedly. And you can see it's a full-on colorwork sweater. It's by Andrea Mowry. And this I had started for last year's DRK March to May cal, which is the knit along that she does every March to May. And I cast it on for that, but I didn't finish because I was kind of not feeling all over colorwork sweater. And I did pick it up again now and like knit a couple of rounds on it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to finish it for this year's cal either. I think this will be like a really slow going long-term project, but yeah, it is really pretty. This yarn is Madeline Tosh. I think it's Madeline Tosh sock, like one of their sock bases definitely. I know that it's merino and nylon. I have to check out which base it is. And I'm also not quite sure about the colorways, but I hope that I can find that out and link it. And otherwise, it's definitely Madeline Tosh. And this is stored in my... This is like a little panda and bear bag. And it's not actually a project bag. It's like a toiletry kind of bag from a like drugstore that we have here. But I really liked it and it fits the sweater well right now. I'm not sure if it will still fit when it's finished. And this is actually the bag that I use for my current sock projects because it's nice and large and I can fit 2 sock projects in it, which is really nice when I have one that I just want to finish up, but I know I'm going to start another while I'm away. So I take that a lot with me. And I bought this only like a week ago on a local like craft fair. So that was a really good find because I do have a lot of project bags, but they're usually all either like shawl or sweater sized or like single sock project size. So this is kind of really nice and in between. And I have 2 in this size and that I've bought on the craft fair. and I'm really happy, even though I didn't want to spend quite so much money as I did that weekend, but it was really helpful. And the last work in progress that I have is another cardigan. Oh, you can barely see it at all. This is the April cardigan, if I'm right. It's definitely a month. I think it's the April cardigan by Petite Knit. And I am knitting it out of Wollmeise Decay. So again, with the Wollmeise, I really like their yarn. And this is the colorway Gloire de Dijon. I'm not very French. I don't speak French, so I hope that I pronounce that even like seemingly right. And I really like the sweater construction here. It has like these shoulder increases and then kind of straight with the sleeves. And I feel like this will fit really well. I only just finished the button band, I think like 2 days ago maybe. So I haven't really tried it on since, but I feel like it will fit really well once it blocks out and stuff. And I have buttons for this as well, which I can show you. Just need to finish the sleeves and attach the buttons, so this will hopefully be done soon. And I have enough yarn. I definitely have enough yarn. And I picked these buttons, which I think they're really, really pretty. They're very similar to what the pattern originally used. So I found these here in Germany and I didn't want to order from Denmark and pay for shipping and stuff. But I think this will be like a really nice kind of fancy cardigan with this. I thought I had buttons. I didn't really want to order any, but they're purple. I had thought they were pink and I didn't check before I cast on the cardigan, which is not the smartest move, but I just feel like the purple and the pink, yeah, they could go together, but they're not perfect, and I wanted perfect for this cardigan. And all my buttons are in this little like trinket box, which I really like. This camera is not focusing. Hello? I don't think it gets much better than this. Sorry. Yeah. But this is really enjoyable. It's just stockinette and I can read while knitting stockinette. So this is what I am working on when I'm reading most of the time, because the socks that I knit often have like some color work or some like texture, like the Ruched Socks, and I can't really read while knitting the texture or the color work. And also I like to take my socks with me when I go to Hamburg for uni, because I am having like an hour and a bit of a train ride, so it's really nice for the commute to have some sock projects. And then at home I often work on my sweaters instead. That's it for my like knitting, works in progress, and my finished objects and stuff. But I just wanted to tell you a bit more about me in hopes that you will watch this podcast again and might want to know a little bit about me. I am 23 years old, and as I've told you, I am a university student, and I study a teaching degree with the subjects music and IT. And I'm studying to become a high school teacher, which here in Germany goes from grade 5 to grade 13, at least where I live. So I really like my subject combination, music and IT, and I'm thinking of also adding math into the mix, and I have requested to do that at a local university, so maybe I will switch my university soon. But right now I am in Hamburg, which is really nice because we have like a music university and a normal university. So I'm studying at both. And the music university has a really nice music program with a lot of different like interesting seminars to visit and like lectures to go to, because it's focused on music. And recently I've been quite busy because I have an exam, like a halfway exam for my choir conducting class, and we have to conduct a choir out of all the students in my year that are learning choir conducting. So I was in Hamburg the whole weekend. Today's Monday, And yesterday and the day before I was in Hamburg practicing with the choir for like 8 hours the first day and 6 hours the next day. But it was a lot of fun. And the week before I actually had a free week, which is really nice because of Easter. And yeah, I'm quite busy because I also work at a local school, which is nice to get some experience in what I want to do later. And I do not teach my subject there yet. I teach kind of everything that they need as a substitute teacher. So if a teacher is sick one day, I will go and take over that class. And I'm there for a couple of hours every week and also studying and also doing the designing, which keeps me really busy, but it's all stuff that I very much enjoy, so that's very nice. Yeah, and for Easter I will visit my grandparents and go to another place, maybe visit some yarn stores there, we will see. And also after Easter my new semester really will kick off, so I will have some new interesting classes to go to, and that's kind of what's happening. But I kind of like the semester starting because everything is new and exciting, and also I spent a lot of time going to Hamburg and have time to knit on the train, which is always nice. That's kind of all I wanted to talk about. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, even though I'm a bit rambly at the moment and have to do a few cuts every now and again because I kind of get out of step. English is not my first language, but I hope that you can understand me well and I do not have too much of an accent. And I just really hope that you enjoyed this, that you want to see what I'm working on, and I would be very happy if you wanted to introduce yourself in the comments. And there will also be a German version of this podcast episode, so don't worry if you see episode 1 pop up twice on my channel, because I am planning on recording the podcast both in English and in German, because I am from Germany and a lot of my knitting friends are from the US and all over the world, so I don't want to only do the podcast in German, but I do want to put it out in German as well, because like my mother and a lot of my German knitting friends will probably enjoy it more if they can see it in German. Thank you so much for watching.